a government bureaucrat.
Yeah, probably none. So you're saying he relied on Mike Pence for all of his nominations, and that fucked him over.
Would you agree with that assumption?
Oh yeah, and I'm just thinking for the next steps because if he actually gets elected, I mean, he should learn his lesson. I mean, so how would you advise him to handle appointments in the future? Because there's got to be thousands, right?
If he doesn't have General Flynn by his side, he's gonna make the exact same mistakes that he did in
Yeah.
the first
Okay,
term.
so let me ask about that because that was one of my other questions that was later was I was one of the people who was really hoping that General Flynn would be appointed as a VP because I thought especially after the assassination attempt like you want somebody who's going to fix this shit and be a warrior and Flynn was not appointed and I was upset about that. So like do you have any thoughts about that?
My thoughts would be, and this is just pure speculation.
Yeah.
General Flynn is not the type of person that asks for anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
President Trump is surrounded by people that are telling him what to do.
But again, I just thought like I don't want to hammer on JD Vance, but I just thought it was obvious you should pick Flynn after the deep state tried to assassinate him. Like, I mean, I thought that was an obvious pick.
So how? Well, hold up. Let's. All right. Tangent moment. Tangent moment.
Okay.
Alert. This goes to today. We skipped a lot of stuff. So let
Yeah.
me address it this way. Paul Ryan sits on the board of Faux News.
Right.
So if you're a Republican and you want to fundraise for your reelection campaign, you probably need to be friendly with Paul Ryan so you can continue to appear on Faux News.
Right.
And you probably want to be somewhat friendly with Kevin McCarthy because he's still the number one fundraising mechanism for House races in the country for Republicans through the
Right.
Congressional Leadership Fund. What
Right.
does that mean? Wait, isn't Kevin McCarthy really close to Trump's campaign manager,
I who is Trump's campaign manager?
Chris LaCivita?
Okay, I didn't even know.
Is
Um,
it possible that Kevin McCarthy is using Chris LaCivita to make sure that Trump makes decisions that are in line with Kevin McCarthy and Paul Ryan's interests? That would be my assumption.
right. So the worry is
What
that
else? What about Susie Wiles? Is she loyal to Ron DeSantis or is she loyal to President Trump or both?
yeah, I don't know.
And isn't Ron DeSantis a former House Freedom Caucus member? Just
Mm.
some things to consider.
Yeah. So I mean, my big worry. So you're saying the Republican machine is now influencing Trump, and it's the same people who controlled all these appointments that got him
So,
screwed over.
well, hold on. I'm going to answer your question about JD Vance.
Yeah.
My perspective, based on talking to some consequential sources that would have access to this info.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not 100% full stop, but here's kind of, and I agree with this assessment. So the Las Avitas and the Susie Wiles of the world
Hmm.
were advocating for a Tim Scott because she used to work for Tim Scott in his
Oh
Senate and
God.
governor's race,
Yeah.
or excuse me, yeah, Tim Scott or Rick Scott in Florida,
Florida
and
governor. Yeah.
then Tim Scott, South Carolina,
Yeah.
for his VP pick.
Yeah.
The other camp, known as Eric Trump, Lara Trump, President Trump himself, probably were leaning towards General Flynn
Yeah.
to be the VP pick as
So
the
there was.
finalist.
So maybe there's a compromise.
But the Kevin McCarthy, Paul Ryan camp through Chris LaCivita and Susie Wiles are like, oh, no, 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 no. Like the meme. No to General Flynn because then they get exposed and then they get thrown out.
Right.
Right. And so you have this uniparty rep safe or General Flynn completely take the entire cabal down division.
Yeah.
So then there's this fight, I'm guessing. And
Okay.
so
Yeah.
enter stage right. Hey, how about we resolve this conflict by having Peter Thiel and Elon Musk? Well, let's just say Peter Thiel, the last boss of Elon Musk at PayPal. How
Yeah.
about we bring in Peter Thiel, who funded, and JD Vance had been a VC, I guess, with Peter Thiel for a decade now, that Peter Thiel funded for his Senate race in Ohio. to
Right.
the tune of, I can't remember, 18 million or whatever.
I thought it was
How
20 million.
about we enter JD Vance and then Peter Thiel? We'll bring in Peter Thiel and the entire Elon Musk tech community from big tech to help you out win the election so that we can collectively go after the globalist cabal.
Yeah.
And I think that was the sell that was like, you know what? That's probably the best business deal. And then we still are able to kind of like keep the La Savita, Susie Wiles, Kevin McCarthy slash Paul Ryan camp without going completely nuclear against Trump.
Yeah, that's the best hypothesis for why JD Vance was picked that I've ever heard. I think that makes sense.
And so,
but that
yeah,
makes me
and
very.
so,
I was gonna say
uh-huh.
that makes me very worried because again, like General Flynn better be in the administration. I mean, do you have any insights on whether he'd be in the administration at all?
I think that if the President Trump doesn't realize or at least look into the outsized potentially role that Kevin McCarthy and Paul Ryan behind the scenes have, especially through Reince Priebus and through
Yeah,
Chris LaCivita, into his campaign and the staffing of his campaign into the administration. I suspect that they're setting him up to have a Mike Pence 2.0 as his chief of staff.
yeah,
Here's how. Kevin McCarthy has already, you can find the breadcrumbs of it publicly in discussions. Kevin McCarthy is vying to be Trump's chief of staff. The way he's able to leverage his way into being able to do that is, like I said, imagine this, John. You're
yeah,
Trump and I'm Kevin McCarthy. Okay, let's just put your hat on.
yeah.
All right, Donald, President Trump. So I have this congressional leadership fund. I'm the biggest fundraiser. I have been the biggest fundraiser for the House for years now, and I'm sitting on a lot of money. And Chris LaCivita and I were just kind of thinking here. How about you commit to having me as the chief of staff? In return, I'm going to use all that money to do everything that we can possible to make sure that there's a Republican majority in the House.
Hmm.
That way, they're not impeaching you. Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, I'm going to take that money instead and guarantee that the Democrats win the House so that even if you do win, Jamie Ratskin is going to go ahead and 14th Amendment Section 3 insurrectionist you on January 3rd when the Democrats take the House of Representatives so that on January 20th, you're not even able to become the president. So do you want me as chief of staff or not?
Is that how it really works? Like, do you like then you're hiring a snake? Even if he took the compromise, you're having a snake work for you. If that's what's
What
really
option
happening.
do you have, Donald?
I don't. I mean, I don't. I mean, if it were me, I'd be like, "Fuck no, you're a snake." I'd go with General Flynn. But I see what you're saying. Like they could make problems for him. Oh, I don't know. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
So yeah, why don't you just take me in as your chief of staff? I'll be your beloved Pence 2.0. I'll handle you, Donald, and I'll make sure that everybody, every decision that you make, I'll say, yep, yep, we got it. We're working it. I'll do nothing. I'll protect the interests of all those, the uniparty cabal. I'll protect the Bush, Cheney, Barry Hussein syndicate, right? The Nancy Pelosi's, the Biden criminal syndicate, because I also got significant portion of that congressional leadership fund money from the Ukraine money laundering scheme that we're all part of. Okay.
Right.
But you don't need to know that, Donald. That's something for me to work. Okay. You
Yeah.
worry about just being president. You do you do your interviews. You just act presidential. I'll tell you what you need to know. And then I will tell others what I think they need to know based on what you tell me. I'll be the
Yeah.
yes man, but I will convey downstream from you what they really need to do. Okay. So that's
Right.
how we're going to handle you. So what do you think, Don?
I mean, yeah. I don't know. If it were me, I'd
I
say no.
mean, why
I'd hire
change your
Vivek.
modus operandi, Donald?
Yeah. I mean,
Didn't we go through this in your first term with
yes.
Mike Pence?
Yes.
We'll
That's my
just do it
point.
again, bro. Come
No.
on.
Yeah. Well, and I'm saying he's got to learn his lesson. I mean, that's why I think. Yeah. Well, let's hope we can hope.
How is he going to learn his lesson if Chris LaCivita and Susie Wiles are the predominant force of deciding what information he gets.
Yeah, I don't know. Those are his current
I
campaign.
do know. It's exactly what we're doing right now, explaining how this could potentially play out, educating those in the proximity of President Trump, Dan Scavino, and others. As this goes more and more viral and people talk about it, that's when we can go around the McCarthys, the Lasavitas, the Wiles, all these other folks. Now, a lot of people that are in, they're like, oh, I have to be nice to Susie. I got to be nice to Chris Lasavita because if I'm not, they're not going to pick me in whatever position. I could give a flying fuck about what position. If like I don't want a position, I'm with Elon Musk. I want to remove 90% of the government. So if I'm like, it would be disingenuous for me to say, oh yeah, I want to go into the government so that I can axe everyone else. No, I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to go ahead and do it from outside to make sure we advocate for the most efficient, clean, and uncorruptible government employees. And I'm here to facilitate that by applying the maximum number of lumens on every remaining government bureaucrat that we have so that they're like scared during their 8-hour shift. Ooh, I better not like accidentally hit the wrong keystroke because Ivan's coming for me as well as the 100 million other Americans.
Yes, I was going to say, we want you as the Secretary of Retribution, the Deep State Marauder. We definitely want you in that position. So whatever that.
And that's a position of action, not a position of title. I'm already doing it.
That's true. Okay. Okay. So
does that kind of answer your question about the current state?
I shall meet death head on. Nigga Kane, you've got to get out of here. Beware foul demons and beasts. There are many foes here. The time has come to cleanse my heart. This monastery reeks with evil and corruption. Oh, I hate staining my hands with the blood of foul sorcerers. Eternal suffering would be too great for you, Diablo. Let the gate be opened to die. I shall meet death head on. I shall meet death head on. Nigga Kane, you've got to get out of here. Beware foul demons and beasts. There are many foes here. The prime evils are no more.